thank you so much, and thank you, Elder Geraldine. Thank you so much. It's such a beautiful day in the community, and getting us going on the right foot, I think, is a testament to this beautiful day that we have before us, of course, right now. And thank you to the drummers. Thank you for everything that you do. It's a beautiful, beautiful song. Councillor, again, thank you so much. I am Mike Ellis. I am the Deputy Premier, as well as the Minister of Public Safety and Emergency Services for the province of Alberta. And I'm here to talk to you today about our government's plan for the future of Alberta. First, I want to acknowledge, of course, that we're gathered today on the traditional territory of Treaty 8. I want to, again, thank Councillor Isidore for being the MC. I know the chief he has some house issues and he couldn't be here, but I know he's certainly supportive of this announcement and everything that we're doing here today, and I want to thank him as well. And of course, the community of the Driftmile Cree Nation. I also want to thank Police Chief Signac for not only being here, but the outstanding work that he is doing in this community. As I always say, the paradigm shift that we're doing here in policing in Alberta is that we are not to be seen as an arm of the state, but an extension and reflection of the communities that we serve. And looking at your wonderful officers here today, I know that the chief is going down that path. Obviously, the Lakeshore Regional Police Service and the members and community members that are here today, and of course all the distinguished guests, and of course we also have with us MLA Nolan Dick, who is our new Parliamentary Secretary for Indigenous and Rural Policing in the province of Alberta, and I'd like to thank him for being a part of this as well. It certainly is a privilege to be here in Driftmile, home to Lakeshore Regional Police Service, and announce this significant investment in the safety and well-being of Indigenous communities. Alberta's First Nations police services are steadfast in their commitment to protecting their communities, their residents, playing a pivotal role in maintaining safety and fostering trust. And Alberta's government is committed to ensuring that these services continue to be an integral component of their communities as they grow into the future. We recognize that Indigenous police services are deeply rooted in their communities, possessing a deep understanding of the culture. This local knowledge positions themselves to address the specific needs and aspirations of the community. No one knows the community better than the people who live there. And by working together with these services, we acknowledge their expertise and support their vision for the future. Alberta wants to improve public safety through the new approaches to local policing. And to that end, I am honored to announce that as part of Budget 2025, Alberta's government is investing $6.9 million to help expand facilities for the Lakeshore Regional Police Service. Thank you. This is truly, indeed, very exciting for the community. Alberta's government continues to foster support for Indigenous self-administered policing, which we believe is an essential service. Today's investment is helping with the critical infrastructure that we need for the region. Providing the Lakeshore Regional Police Service with modern, reliable facilities is a crucial aspect for our commitment to ensuring effective and reliable law enforcement for Alberta. And when officers operate in environments designed to support their well-being and operational needs, they are, of course, better equipped to serve and protect their communities. And with this investment, we're, of course, laying the foundation for safer and more resilient communities for years to come. And today we are providing the Lakeshore Regional Police Service with that $6.9 million to expand the existing detachment building. And this expansion ensures that the service can continue to effectively serve the 5 First Nations surrounding Lesser Slave Lake. And as these communities continue to grow, the demand for policing services, of course, increases. And the bigger facility will provide the necessary space and resources effectively manage this growth, ensuring that the police service can continue to meet the evolving needs of the community. And in conclusion, our investment into Indigenous policing is a testament to Alberta's commitment to community safety. A thriving police service equipped with the necessary resources and, of course, the infrastructure serves as a cornerstone for the community when it comes to resilience. It ensures that responses to emergencies are are swift, that they're effective, and the community programs are robust and relevant and strengthens the overall sense of safety and trust within the community. And most importantly, we're excited to continue to work with the Lakeshore Regional Police Service, and the action represents just another step forwards towards meaningful reconciliation. So thank you. Thank you to all the officers that are here today that have showed up to serve and protect their communities. Your dedication, your service, of course, is deeply important, and we value your contributions. So with that, I'd like to now turn this over to my colleague, Parliamentary Secretary Nolan Dick, to say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Ellis, and thank you, Elder, for the prayer. I very appreciate your time, and you're taking the time out of your day here to be here. So, as stated, my name is Nolan Dick, Parliamentary Secretary for Indigenous and Rural Policing, and I am very delighted with the investment that Minister Ellis has made. It's a significant investment here for the nations in public safety. So I just want to thank him for his dedication here. And it's $6.9 million is significant from Alberta's government to support the growth of the Lakeshore Regional Police Service. And this funding in part of Budget 2025 will be enhancing the facilities, ensuring they can better serve their communities. By replacing outdated buildings and constructing new infrastructure, we're not only improving operational efficiency, but also fostering culturally responsive law enforcement that reflects the unique needs of Indigenous peoples. And this investment underscores our commitment to empowering Indigenous communities through self-determination and effective policing, aligning with our broader reconciliation goals. And together, we're building safer communities for all residents within all of these communities. Thank you, and I would also like to now thank or invite Councillor Stan Isidore of Driftpile Cree Nation up to say a few words as well.
Well, hello again. So some of the words that I shared earlier on in respects to welcoming wonderful people here today, and of course the importance of this day, I'm going to move forward a little bit and just kindly speak on behalf of what's going to be happening here in the future, to the best of my knowledge. What we have now is a wonderful thing. Our Lakeshore Regional Police Service, our Lakeshore Regional Police Service building, the dedication of these officers, and that is one thing that is very important not only to me but to our community here in Driftpile. It's important to the community of Sawridge, Swan River, Sucker Creek, and Kapowino, the 5 bands along the lakeshore. And I say this because of what's going to be happening here in the near future with this extension, the addition. And when we say it's a beautiful thing, that's not giving it enough. That's an understatement. Because with this expansion of this building, it's not just the expansion of the building, it's the expansion of a group of amazing people coming together in the collective effort of those wonderful people. We're not just talking about officers. We're talking about the people that work in the admin department. We're talking about the elders that are going to be brought forward to be an important part of this building. We're talking about knowledge holders that are going to be an important part of this building and this expansion. There's so much that is going to make this possible, that is going to make this a success and beneficial for not only Driftpile, but for the rest of the bands along the lakeshore. And when we say that, we talk about the additions that are going to come with this expansion. And some of those additions are going to be very important to our communities. To my knowledge, we are going to have departments that specialize in the best way to put this is drugs that are everywhere, not just First Nation communities, they're everywhere. Municipalities, they're in cities, they're everywhere. But when we focus on that important area in First Nation communities, a drug enforcement department is going to be one of the areas that's going to be important to this expansion. They are also going to include a canine unit, I believe, that is going to be important to this expansion. We're also going to be including which is very important to our communities, is the cultural aspect of this expansion and bringing that forward. And in turn, including our elders, our knowledge holders. And we want to strongly encourage, in moving forward, encourage our young people to find a path in this department so that our young people can be standing here where these fine officers are standing. That is also one of the important reasons as to why we're moving forward with this expansion, is to encourage our young people to find something good in their lives so that they can one day be standing here as officers, as deputy ministers. We don't know, but it's something that we want to provide for them. And these are some of the important things about this expansion. And when you're applying for a large amount of money in the millions, and in this case 6.9 million, you need to have something to bring to the table. And one of the important things that was brought to the table in respects to the negotiations was Canada and Alberta looked at the First Nation communities along the lakeshore. They looked at Driftpile, and they learned that Driftpile has so much culture, so much tradition, and we've been blessed to experience that this morning. The drums, the prayer that was rendered here. We have our language. We have our old ways of hunting, our old ways of praying. We have our old ways of taking care of one another. And these are the teachings that have been in our community since time immemorial, and it's because of our elders that still hold that knowledge. And Canada and Alberta saw this, and that was one of the reasons why they were in agreement to help with that 6.9 million. They felt that culture is so important to First Nation communities, and it is. It's important to our community. It's important to the rest of the communities along the lakeshore. So I just wanted to add that as well in some of the things I wanted to share with you here today. So I'm excited about this, not only as one of the councilmen. I'm excited about this as a band member of Driftpile, born and raised here. I've seen so many changes over the years, and I'm so proud to be a part of this change and moving forward. So I want to thank those wonderful individuals that pushed this forward and made this happen, the collective effort of so many educated people that made sure that this was going to one day become a reality, and it's going to one day become a reality. So thank you so much for your words, for your inspiration, and for your commitment and dedication to making sure that this is going to be a beautiful thing for Driftpile, for Sawridge, Swan River, Sucker Creek, and Kapawino. And this is something that's going to be beneficial for our young people, and that's, to me, is what is very important. So thank you for listening to the officers. Thank you for dedicating your heart and your passion to your work, to your job, and going out there and making sure our communities are safe. And to our dignitaries, thank you so much for being in our community. It's an honor to have you in our circle here today. Thank you. Yep.
That's okay, Stan. I'll remember. Come on in. Good morning and welcome, distinguished guests, Stan, First Nation leadership, the Lakeshore Regional Police Commission members, the Driftpile Creek drummers, thank you. Good job once again. And Geraldine Anderson, thank you for the prayer in the beginning. It is with great pride and gratitude that I stand before you today as we celebrate a significant milestone in the continued evolution of the Lakeshore Regional Police and the safety of our communities that we police. That includes the Sawridge First Nation, the Swan River First Nation, the Driftpile Cree Nation, Sucker Creek First Nation, and the Kapawino First Nation. Today, we acknowledge and give thanks to the government for their unwavering support and generosity in providing the funding for the expansion of our police building, and that will also include further infrastructure for our other First Nation friends on the Blood Tribe Police and the Tsuut'ina Nation Police Service. This expansion is more than just the addition of space and facilities. It is a testament to the government's commitment to the safety and well-being of the nations that we serve. It reflects their understanding that the First Nations policing plays a critical role in ensuring that our communities remain secure and that we have the resources necessary to serve effectively. This investment is not just about expanding, again, physical space. It's about strengthening our ability to serve and protect the First Nations. It also represents a significant step forward in our communities, or our commitment to safety, security, and the well-being of every community member in the 5 First Nations. The funding will not only improve infrastructure, but will also ensure that our officers have the resources they need to perform their duties with excellence. Our office has been working diligently to ensure the safety and security of everyone who calls this area home, but over time, as the demand for our service increased, so too has the need for more resources and infrastructure. This funding will allow the service to modernize our facilities, expand our capabilities, improve operations, and provide better support for the officers and staff who work here each day. The safety of our communities is a shared responsibility, and this investment strengthens our ability to work hand in hand with residents and partners to achieve that goal. I would like to extend my appreciation to our government leaders for their recognition of the importance of public safety and their commitment to supporting First Nation police agencies, also for recognizing the value of this project. A special shout out actually to former Chief of Police Dale Cox in continuing to devote his time and expertise in providing oversight and watchful care of this project. Thanks, Dale. Together, we are making a long-lasting impact on the First Nations community that we do serve. Once again, thank you for your continued support, and we look forward to seeing the positive results of the expansion in the years to come. And a big thank you to all who have made this possible. Together, we will continue to make our communities safe and strong. Thank you. Hi, hi. Nothing sharp.
This now brings us to the question and answer portion of our announcement. We do have some reporters here on the floor. If you do have a question, I would just ask you to take to the mic and please state your name and outlet. Okay, you don't have any questions?
I think he spoke to me before this started, our reporter.
Okay, okay, operator, we do have some reporters on the line. Do we have anyone with any questions?
We have a question from Sean Amato from City News. Please go ahead.
Hi, Minister Ellis. So the MLA for that area, Mr. Sinclair, was a colleague of yours with the UCP until he stated some concerns that the UCP government was not properly funding the area. Obviously, you're there with some funding today, but I was just wondering how you would react to that and what is being done to address those concerns that MLA Sinclair has raised.
Well, thank you very much. I would say that the Premier has provided an extensive list of a lot of the investment we've made, not only in Northern Alberta, but specifically in the Slave Lake region. And this is yet another example of how we're supporting not just Northern Alberta, but specifically the region surrounding Slave Lake. This $6.9 million investment, I think, is going to be critical, not just to expanding the great work that is already being done, but making sure that we have the infrastructure in place. I want to build a little bit about what the councillor had stated earlier. Look, not everybody can be a chief of police or a chief of First Nations or a councillor, as an example. But you know what? This is going to provide and lay the groundwork with the great people that we see next to us right now that can become leaders within the community. And what I see is that people are going to grow up in a community like this, and they're going to say, you know what? I love it here. As the councillor stated, he grew up here, and he can sit there and say, you know what, maybe I want to join the police service. Maybe I want to give back to the community. And so, although I have nothing but love and respect for MLA Sinclair, I can tell you that this is part of Budget 2025. And I would hope and encourage all members of the legislature to support this investment that we're making for this community and all of the communities that we're making for in Northern Alberta, quite frankly.
Did you have a follow-up, Sean?
Thank you. Yes, if I could ask the band counselor who spoke earlier, please, for his thoughts on MLA Sinclair's concerns. And do you feel, as a representative of the area and your First Nation specifically, do you feel that the Alberta government is funding enough projects in your community?
All right, thank you for that question. And that's actually a pretty challenging question for me. And I say that because, well, as an elected official, when it comes to funding municipalities, or when it comes to funding First Nation communities, there's a lot of negotiations involved. There's a lot of steps that need to be put into place. And in respects to MLA Sinclair, I think he carried the right steps forward, and I think that in my personal opinion, he in my own personal opinion, and how can I word this? He probably should have kept pushing. He probably should have kept asking questions to many different departments that would have helped them move forward. And the reason why that this question is so challenging for me is I don't know too much of the history of the negotiations that were involved in respects to Sinclair going forward and making those comments. So I don't want to say anything that might offend him or offend anybody else that's here today. I just want to respectfully say that I feel the same way as you about Sinclair. I've known him for the most part of my life. I have so much respect for him, and I firmly believe that being in a position as MLA, it's so much more challenging than being in a position of council or chief. You have so much more to deal with in that position. It's a higher ranking position, and I just I wish nothing but the best for him. But I don't know. That's the best way I can really respond to that question. So I wish I had more to say about that. But in my own personal opinion, I feel I need to educate myself more on what had happened with Sinclair and negotiations he was going through at that time. So, but thank you for the question. I appreciate that. Yeah.
We have no more reporters on the line for questions. I'd like to thank everybody for coming today, and this concludes our announcement.